Hey, Gary here with you. Day 60 of AI blogging, straight into Google Search Console because I want to look at what we have accomplished over the last 2 months. 60 days, 2 months of blogging using AI. And we see here we have 20 total web search clicks as far as performance goes. But really what I'm interested in and what I'm focusing on here going forward is this graph that is going up, which is the number of pages that we have indexed. Over the 100 days, my goal, and still my goal, is to get to 100 blog posts minimum and then evaluate where we are after that 100 days. To think at 60 days, we have 71 pages of our site indexed, to include the legal pages that we created, things like contact us page, about us page, and all the sort of disclaimers that we need. We created with the AI, got those up and published inside of Grooveblog, figured out some indexing and a way to de-index certain pages that we didn't want Google to index and serve up, and then writing those blog posts and getting those blog posts indexed. Now, if you go back to Google Search Console, and we're focused, of course, on the 71 pages that are indexed, but there are 60 pages that aren't indexed. And there's lots of things that we need to do to dive into why these pages aren't getting indexed. But I don't really want to cover that today because it gets in the weeds of the minutia of the sort of errors that Google gets you and gives you. And you'll also notice that when you dive into this, you're going to find a lot of things where Google doesn't give you any information. And the only answer that you'll find from any SEO expert is that you need to create better content. Well, obviously, if you knew how to create better content, you would have done that from the start. So all you can do is look at the pages and posts that aren't indexed and then go through each error message that Google gives you information on and then work your way through that. But I want to dive into a full sort of an overall look and do an SEO audit of the site itself. And I want to start doing that, or I want to start by looking at what ChatGPT can currently do for us to do that site audit. So yesterday I was inside of ChatGPT looking at the plugin SEO Core AI. And I started off the conversation by asking it for a prompt. Please give me a prompt to get an SEO report using the plugin currently enabled, because I need ChatGPT to tell me how to use the prompt. Or I want it to. Obviously, I could go do a bunch of research about the plugin, but it's easier and I think it's better if you just ask ChatGPT as your assistant, hey, what do you know about this plugin and what it can do for me? So you can see here, it says, here is a prompt you can use. And then it says replace the example.com, obviously with the URL that you're trying to analyze, and then your target keyword. Of course, I'm not looking for a target keyword. I think this plugin is designed specifically to do an SEO report for a target keyword for a specific page, looking at that page and analyzing it. But I wanted to see what it could do for the entire site. And then I'm going to show you some tools out there that are free and or being sold or being given away as sort of a lead magnet to let you test it and then buy into some of the more popular SEO tools out there. But I wanted to see what ChatGPT 4 with the SEO plugin could do before we move into that next stage. So I simply just said, please scan universeunriddled.com and provide me a detailed SEO report on what to do to improve to get better results. You can see the core plugin went through and this is what it came up with. There was one quick thing that I noticed, that I didn't have a meta description. It was missing. And I know there's some things that we set up inside of Grooveblog at the beginning, but we didn't cover all of those because we were looking at Grooveblog trying to figure out like all of the settings versus WordPress. So I decided to just settle on that and say, okay, well, give me a meta description for the site based on the site content. So then it gave me a meta description. And then I also wanted to know how to add it. So it told me how to add it. It told me to add it to the HTML file between the head section inside of the header. Then it also gave me some information on WordPress, which of course we're not using. We're using Grooveblog. So that took me back to Grooveblog, and under Grooveblog, under settings, if you go under settings real quick, they have OG and meta settings. So I went ahead and added the meta description that it gave me here under the meta description tag, and I selected save. And then I also went back to the Groove blog itself, and I select publish just to make sure that it pushed out the new settings that I put inside of the meta tag or that meta description. Then I went back to ChatGPT and I said, meta description has been added. Please rescan to verify. It still said it couldn't find it, so I just left that yesterday as it was. So then I wanted to come back today and see if it just took a while for it to get published, because I was working on that. I clicked publish. Instantly, I went here and said, check it out. I don't know if I gave it enough time. So we'll go ahead and we will say, go ahead and rescan that again. And then here you'll see the SEO Core AI plugin will be called, and then it'll go out. It'll scan for that meta description and it'll tell us if it's there or not. And you can see here, I'm sorry, but the SEO scan still shows that the meta description is missing. It's possible there might be a delay in the changes. It also might not be in the head section. Of course, I am going here and I am using the settings inside of Grooveblog and putting it here under meta description. But I can also go under tracking and pixels, and I can include the code that it gave me right here inside of the head, which I'm going to try that now to see if that works. Because you can say it's putting it straight into the HTML versus like if you're using WordPress to use some type of plugin or put it into the description inside of WordPress. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this code, which is the HTML. I'm going to go back to Grooveblog and I'm just going to put this under the head tag. Then I'm going to save that. Then I'm going to go to the blog here, and you can see here the blog, it published as soon as I hit save. So now we're going to go ahead and try this again. So then I'll say, please rescan to verify. And remember, I added this into the actual head tag or under the tracking and pixels where you can put the code. So let's see if it pushed it into the right spot in the HTML. And again, remember, we're using Grooveblog, so something is definitely not working. I could dive into the HTML, but more than likely, I'll just open a support ticket and see what Groove has to say. And then I will share that with you after I get the result back. Now, of course, here we are using the SEO Core AI plugin, so it may just not be working. It may not be reading it. I don't know. I've never tried this with any other site before with this SEO Core AI plugin. And of course, with those SEO plugins or with those plugins over at ChatGPT, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't work. There's bugs in those. We need to figure out what it's looking at, what it's not looking at. And of course, I need to dive into the HTML and or get with Groove support. But moving on, we're going to take a look at a few tools here. Of course, I have Ubersuggest. I showed this where I connected Ubersuggest just to get a feel for this type of thing. This was actually in the case study before the plugins were even enabled in ChatGPT Plus. I had enabled this Ubersuggest from Neil Patel because it's free and you can see some of the SEO opportunities or SEO issues. And in coming updates, I'll walk through all these as we fix them or see if we can fix them. And then I also want to show you another one I'm going to be using here. This is SEMrush. You can get a free site audit. This is SEO Optimizer. Again, you can get a free website analysis. This is SEO Mater. You can get a audit here. Of course, any and all of these that you put your information in, it's going to be a basic report, give you basic information, which I think we got with the SEO Core AI plugin, but I'm going to compare those. Here's Ahrefs. They have a free site audit as well. And then the Hoth over at Hoth Tools, they have a free SEO audit tool that I'm going to run. And I'm going to run all of those and then bring all those results back in future updates as we keep going on. But my main focus and my main goal is to get to 100 blog posts and then see what happens as far as waiting and thinking, okay, what's next in this case study? Because this is day 60. We still got 40 days to go. Lots to do to get to 100 posts, but also lots to do to look at how we can make the experience better for the people that land on our blog. One quick thing I also want to cover here, I want to talk about Google AdSense, and you can see what's here on the page from the Google Generative AI experience. This is telling us how long you have to wait to go for AdSense. And I put this up here so you understand that 6 months, make sure that you are going to be eligible for AdSense by waiting 6 months, meaning you've owned the site, putting up relevant quality content. Just think about that in the big picture. 6 months, we are 2 months in, this is day 60. And Google themselves says, wait 6 months. of having the site and posting content before you apply for Google AdSense to make sure you get approved. Now, I'm not saying you can't do it before. I'm just showing you, or I just showed you what Google said 6 months. We're 2 months in, 60 days in this case study. So we have to think in the frame or in the time frame of 6 months to even think about putting up Google AdSense to try to benefit off of the fact of, hey, we may not make any affiliate commissions, but we can make a little bit of money when people land on our site by those ads being shown. And I do say a little bit of money because Google AdSense at the beginning is not going to pay you much. That's why people reach out and use other ad platforms, because they make more money, because they can work directly with those ad platforms to make sure their ads are specific to their content. And then, of course, they build that relationship, and those companies thrive off of the fact that they give you more of the earnings, and that's how they make more money in their business, or that's how they've established their business and able to play what really is a middleman between you and Google Ads, because really they're just going to Google Ads, pulling those ads, adjusting them to help make you, or make sure that you make as much money as possible from your content. So we're going to be covering all that and wrapping it all up over the next 40 days. Hope you had fun over these first 60 days, as much fun as I have. If you have, give this video a thumbs up, but I appreciate it. Let me know in the comments what you'd like to see in the next 40 days. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.